This is a fan-generated show. If you'd like to support us, please go to jamieglazoff.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our new Rumble channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thrilled to announce the release of my new book, Obama's True Legacy: How He Transformed America. There's a reason why Mike Huckabee calls it a ferocious and chilling read. Order it now at Amazon.com or at FrontPageMag.com. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Glazoff Gang. I am your host for tonight, Aynaz Anni Cyrus, sitting in for the one and only Dr. Jamie Glazoff. I will be joined here in a minute by Michael Lauber, no stranger to our audience here at Glazoff Gang or X America News or my channels. But before I do that, I gotta follow the rules of the Glazoff Gang to an extent. So remember, I know you just heard my voice saying this, but I'm still gonna say it. This is a fan-generated show, so if you want to support us, please go to jamieglazoff.com and make a contribution. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube and Rumble channel. All your supports are greatly appreciated. I know. Please reach deep into your pockets. As you know, we've been here for about 13 years now, and that is all thanks to you guys and your support by subscribing, sharing, liking, commenting. By the way, we are live, so if you have questions, comments, I don't know, ideas, 2 cents to put into the discussion, feel free to put them. I will keep an eye on the comment section to the best of my ability, and we will definitely include you into the conversation. JamieGlazoff.com is where you can subscribe to the Glazoff Gang free newsletter, so you never miss a show. You can also make a donation there by clicking the PayPal button you're all familiar with. Okay, and also, I'm supposed to say, support me at liveuptofreedom.com, because that's where I try to cover as much as possible when it comes to the dangers of Islamization, red-green axis, and all things Sharia. Okay, I think I did a good job on the intro. Let's go ahead and bring Michael Lauber on. Hey, how's it going, Michael?
Oh, just another day in paradise over here, and excellent intro.
Thank you. I know it's so amazing, Michael. So I have been working with Jamie for 13 years and some, and I have had the honor to be his guest or interview him. I did a webinar with him, and I've been here before where I sit in for Dr. Jamie Glazoff, but no matter what, every single time I'm like, I need to make him proud. I need to make him proud. I need to do this right. And then I go back and watch. I'm like, I could have done better.
Well, Jamie's done a lot of hard work for a long time, putting this show together and bringing the audience, all the guests that he brings in, the unique topics, and the insight. So it's some big shoes to fill.
Agreed. And I will continue trying, Jamie. If you catch this later, if you're watching it live now, I will keep trying until one day I master it like you do. I don't know if I get there, but I will keep on trying. Okay, so few notes. As I said, we are live. We are live on the Glazoff Gang platforms across YouTube, Rumble, Dr. Glazoff's X account, everywhere. Also on X America News, again, Rumble, YouTube, X, on my personal Facebook page for those who are more into Facebook. So come on in, join the conversation. And then also, normally I'm behind the scene and I'm clicking buttons, but today you'll see me look this way to see the comments or click some of the buttons. So don't mind me. I am not looking away because I'm not good with the discussion. Michael,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
Impossible. I can't keep up with the news. Since this morning until 10-15 minutes before we hop on to get ready to go on air, I'm like grabbing. I'm like, okay, that one got old already. Forget about that clip. Or no, it's amazing, but then it's exhausting. The amazing part is all the winning. The exhausting part is all the nagging. What's that all about?
Yeah. Well, it's what the left does. And, I got to say, I've been really impressed with how much has happened over the last 30 days that Trump has kept the majority of the promises that he made throughout the election. And even since then, the things he said he would do are happening. Now, some of them aren't accomplished yet. Some pieces are still out there, still need work. But the other thing that I've been really impressed with is his appointments that have gotten through. So far, every single person that he's nominated, with the exception of Matt Gaetz, has gotten through the confirmation process. And I would expect that to continue with the remaining nominees. Now, there is one that I guess a few Congress people on the right do have some questions about that are being addressed. And I'm sorry, I'm blanking on who that is right now. But the rest seem like they're just going to sail through at this point. But we got the big one yesterday. We got Kash Patel finally confirmed and now running the FBI.
Yes. And as you know, I've been sitting on a video. It's an AI generated video. I did not create it. Whomever did it, I thank you for doing it. But we are going to watch this for 47 minutes. And if anybody out there doesn't like or enjoy this video, you got issues, you got problems. So we're going to celebrate this very big win with this video. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. Here we go.
धीरे-धीरे बड़ी चली जो थी चिंगारी छोटी चिंगारी भरी 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 है मन की अलमारी आज अलमारी हुई सतरंगी चाली सतरंगी हुई सतरंगी थी जो ये रात काली खड़क धड़क भड़क चली चटक मटक फटक चली दुश्मन की देखो जो वाट लावली.
That's about perfect.
Michael, I found this video like a week ago, and I told you, I'm like, that moment he's confirmed, we're going on air on the first possible show, which it happened to be the Glass of. I'm like, we're doing this.
Oh yeah, well the memes and everything else, the celebrations are just unreal. And Kash has also made a lot of promises that he's going to need to keep. And apparently the Epstein files have now already made it to Pam Bondi's desk, as she announced earlier. So she's going to be reviewing those for who may or may not be in need of some charges. And, that's not it. He's promised to release the Diddy list. I know there's going to be some complications there since that's an ongoing investigation. But I'm excited to see what else comes out of the FBI. Kash Patel has been adamant about needing essentially a declassification czar, that he wants to hand off a lot of this shady stuff that went on behind the scenes related to January 6th, going after the anti-abortion protesters, and making all of this public so people will see the machine and how it was operating behind the scenes, how our DOJ was politicized. So in addition, I think that's going to provide the clarification and force the media to talk about it. But the other big work that he's going to be doing is realigning the FBI so they actually do serve the people again. They are an element of justice instead of a political tool that's used to oppress one side of the aisle or the other.
Exactly. And I haven't been on air much. I've been just busy producing a lot of shows, which I'm not complaining. I love doing it. But off the air with you, private conversation, Michael, as you know, from day one until today, Kash Patel was the only nominee that I was absolutely excited about. I had no doubts, no complaints, nothing. Like 100% in. Everybody else, as you know, I have questioned them. I still question them. Some of them like, some of them like, no. Kash Patel from day one has been my preferred or absolutely 100% correct nominee. And again, they did drag their feet. They tried, whatever. But one thing I know for fact, and again, we have another clip we're going to play for our audience, and we're going to discuss it. That's like a side-by-side of Kash Patel versus, what's his name? Schiff.
Adam Schiff, pencil neck.
Adam Schiff, yes. But one thing Kash Patel has proven, and again, this is coming from me, middle of the road, neither Republican nor Democrat, nothing. It's one thing he has proven is, number one, he does not run his mouth for popularity. What he says, he does consider his word, his credit, and his credibility. And I love that about him.
Yes.
He delivers like a simple, even when the hearing, he did not change his tone, his mindset, like they put up this picture of Laura Loomer and Kash Patel. It's like, like.
Yeah. Well, they had nothing on him and said they were just trying to smear him any way they could, or taking things that he'd said either out of context or trying to make a big deal about something that was obviously just, a statement made in jest, trying to turn a joke into something serious. They had nothing on the guy. He is somebody that is loud. He's boisterous. He does go out there and he'll talk a little smack when he needs to, but the guy also means what he says and does what he says he will do. And again, I think it's a very bright future. And you're right. Yeah, Kash Patel was probably my number one person I was waiting on. But I got to be honest. I mean, I've been pretty impressed with what a few of Trump's other nominees have accomplished. Scott Bissett's been great over in Treasury. I love this story with the guy who's now running the Social Security Administration. Have you heard this already?
I have not.
Okay, well, you probably saw where the holdover that was running it resigned after initially blocking DOGE. And then once they were let in, they discovered all this fraud. Apparently, we have a gazillion people over the age of 120 living in the United States.
Yes.
So once all that fraud was uncovered, she left. Well, she had there was an employee under her who was cooperating with DOGE against her orders, apparently. Well, he's now running the Social Security Administration. He had called his wife, I guess, earlier in the day, said he was probably going to be fired by the end of the day. And apparently he was, but then they asked him to move up to the leadership role, and now he's in charge because he cooperated. This is somebody that's been watching this fraud for years. I guess he'd made several reports where nothing was done about it, so he pointed everything out to Elon Musk and the team at DOGE. They went in and started to correct the problem. They decided, what, this guy's honest. He's there for the right reasons. This is the kind of person we need in government that should be there, a real public servant. So now he's running the organization. Oh, yeah. And I've been impressed with a few others too, like Marco Rubio has been out there putting the smack down in Europe and sticking to our values, sticking to the America First agenda. He's not been afraid to go tell Europe what's up. You guys are going to be paying the bills for NATO now. You're going to meet your obligations going forward. If you're going to tariff us, we're going to use the reciprocal tariffs right back on you. And he's not afraid to stand up for the agenda. And this is the guy I was probably most concerned about to begin with, just because this guy used to be a uniparty insider. Now, the rumor has it that he felt like they burned him a while back, and he's been very upset with a lot of these uniparty people. And I'm starting to think that's true with the way he's acting and behaving.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because Marco Rubio was one of my nominees.
Yes.
And then I started watching, and I mean, I'm like, okay, something has changed. Again, I don't know why. But I have genuinely seen the change where he's stepping up. He's starting to realize maybe it is the fact that they burned him. Could be another agenda. Again, with Marco Rubio, at the end of the day, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, which is his hidden agenda. But as of today, he's been vocal about a few things that I've been vocal about. It's kind of surprised her. But then on the other hand, as you know, I've been a little, and this is a very unpopular opinion. This is not on behalf of the Glazov gang or Jamie Glazov. It's just, I know Cyrus saying this. With Kennedy, I'm still kind of back and forth with him. His hearing didn't go as well as everybody expected. I heard few things there that I didn't like. I get his trying to focus on the food and all of that, and his staying away, thankfully, from anything gun-related or Second Amendment. But even though at the beginning I was like, yes, then I started noticing like, I don't know, let's watch. With him, I'm watching now. Again, a lot of them have surprised me. A lot of them, not really. I knew they're not going to be that great. But Kash Patel's in there. And for that, I'm happy. Because it's a huge role, Michael. It's not about one little thing. For last decade at least, maybe two, this country, people of this country have suffered through corruption of FBI. This is huge. It's going to impact everybody's life.
Agreed. And I think there's going to be a lot more that comes out of the FBI. That Kash is going to dig into. And I know Trump has also mentioned this, the files around 9/11, surveillance, the Patriot Act. So I think we may find out that there's been more illegal surveillance going on than anybody's even realized. And to go back to it, with RFK Jr., yeah, he's definitely somebody to keep an eye on. He has made a few good moves, but yeah, that's somebody I'm going to still be watching closely. I do think his heart's in the right place. But he's dealing with just a monster bureaucracy there. And I think some of the early moves he's made going after some of the pharmaceutical companies, wanting clarity, and even this study now on the effects of the mRNA COVID vaccines, I think they're good moves. But yeah, I think he's somebody to watch closely. Whereas Rubio and others have, at least in my eyes, started to prove themselves already. But I couldn't be more excited for what Kash does come Monday morning. They were all excited. They were telling us all there was going to be this giant protest at the FBI if Kash were to be confirmed. We haven't seen that materialize. Instead, we're probably just there's probably a lot of people packing up their desks right now.
Very true. And I just saw your message, Michael. The double echo should have been fixed now. It wasn't going out. It wasn't going out to audience. Thankfully, I had my producer line open as well as the live, so you were hearing me twice. As you know, I'm normally in people's ears, so both microphones were open.
Well, problem solved.
It's the beauty of live programming, right? It's like, oh no, I forgot to close my microphone over there. And yes, you know what? At the end of the day, another unpopular opinion, even Trump himself, we got to keep watching him. Yeah. Everybody, listen, we got to keep watching ourselves. We might have a great week. I had a week where it was like fantastic. I'm staying with my diet and go to sleep and do the job. And then next week, I'm pretty much getting nothing done. Human nature. We could make mistakes. So bottom line is, overall, in general, looking at the picture, it could be terribly worse. It could be what was 4 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're mostly in a good place right now. My only big concern is this whole buying Gaza and turning that into the new Riviera. I just don't think any part of that is a good idea.
Don't get me started. That was the first glimpse of me saying, okay, Marco Rubio, I'm liking you again. Because when he said, wait a minute, I thought we voted America first, not Gaza first. I'm like, exactly.
Yeah, because I don't see anybody else taking in the Palestinians throughout the Middle East or anywhere else. As we push them off on Europe, that's only going to cause hundreds of people, thousands of people to die. So this is a bad deal for everybody all the way around. Otherwise, I've been impressed, even with the stuff that was unannounced or little moves that have been made, other little changes. They keep surprising the left. They're constant there. I mean, this is what I think is so genius about this. It is a lot of Trump's moves right now have forced the left to fight for the IRS, to fight against finding fraud, waste, and abuse, to argue against sending people a dividend, a return of 20% of the money that DOGE is able to recover. I mean, they put them in these just impossible positions where they just sound like complete lunatics.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Talk about lunatics. Let's watch the first part of the side-by-side video and then come back, and then we'll go to the second part of it, but really sounds like a lunatic. But here we go.
This is someone we cannot trust. This is someone who lacks the character to do this job, someone who lacks the integrity to do this job. We know that. Our Republican colleagues know that. The only qualification Kash Patel has to be FBI director is that when everyone else in the first Trump administration said, no, I won't do that, that crosses moral, ethical, and legal lines, Kash Patel said, sign me up. In the first Trump administration, as we are seeing in the second, you rise to the level of your sycophancy, and no one is a bigger or more dangerous sycophant than Kash Patel. This political hack does not deserve to be in this building. He can't do the job. He won't protect the public. He will misuse the resources of the Bureau. He will weaponize it against the president's political opponents rather than protecting the safety, the public safety of the American people.
Adam Schiff.
I'll let you make the comment about the jacket, but if there was ever like in a classroom, at home, at university, if a therapist was about to say, if projection had a face, it would be this very face.
Oh,
He's
exactly.
Literally projecting everything. First of all, no fact, No example. He couldn't even say he's this and that because of that event, because he's not. Again, I will defend Kash Patel, especially about every single word this lunatic just said. It's he's projecting. Everything he said, we have witness about him, Schiff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's really the bottom line is we watched Schiff lie for, well, the last 8 years, 9 years now. He lied to the American people over and over and over again regarding Russia collusion, kept saying, oh, we've got the goods. We just had this testimony in this secret hearing. He'd hold up his papers and shake them around when he's on MSNBC and CNN and whoever else would talk to him. And he just blatantly lied about the evidence, about the Russians being involved in things. And over and over again. And this has already been revealed. I mean, the guy was censured for lying to the American people regarding the their sham J6 committee. And again, same thing there. Lies, fake news, manipulation. They tried to make it sound like somehow, on January 6th, that Trump told people to go storm the Capitol, which is obviously false. He told them to peacefully assemble. And then he also blatantly lied about, apparently, Trump hulked up in the back of the Beast, the presidential limo, broke through the glass and tried to grab the steering wheel. And Schiff, and I can't think of what her name was now, were blatantly lying about that. His witness, the other person that tried to turn on Trump after he was out of office during this J6 sham committee. And, thank God they're going to hold a new J6 committee and get to the bottom of what really happened, why Nancy Pelosi was there with a camera crew, who unlocked all the electronic doors, and who else was ordering things behind the scene that make this look like this was orchestrated, that they wanted to create. They wanted to create an attack on the Capitol. There wasn't an attack on the Capitol. They wanted to create it.
Exactly. You don't want to make any comments about the jacket? Should we move on?
Oh, I almost forgot. Yeah, that's about the ugliest coat I've ever seen. Schiff should have spent that money on an attorney because he's going to need it.
Seriously, I normally do my very best not to mock people or make fun of people, but who gave him, like, when he was leaving his house that morning to go look like an idiot, did he really have to add the jacket to look even more like an idiot? I'm like, where did you find it? Who told you it's a good idea? And
who sized him for it? I don't know if you have the other picture with him standing there next to the microphone where you can see it, but this goofball just looks ridiculous. And that's the other thing I want to point out. We heard about this protest all week, that there were going to be, 4,000 FBI agents joining them in the street out in front. I don't think any of them showed up, and nobody else in D.C., even Antifa, couldn't be bothered to show up and hold their signs. So
6 people showed up.
Oh, 6. Yeah. I love the shot from the other side that somebody had of the media where, they're outnumbered about 35 to, well, I guess 6. I thought it was 5. 35 to 6, maybe 40. So there was more media there than there were protesters or congressmen.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Again, I promise we're gonna play Kash's side of this video as well in a minute. But Michael, Derek Evans, your co-host on Insurrection,
yes,
which, by the way, you can catch the Insurrection with Derek Evans and Michael Lauber Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. Eastern Time to noon on X America News every day of the week. But Derek Evans and yourself, you were actually guests on a Steve Hook, the Right Hook Show, which is another programming on X America News Wednesdays and Fridays. And Derek said the best way I could think of saying it, but I would never think of saying it that way. And as Steve Hook said, that sums it up. There is a civil war going on in the Democrat Party.
Yes.
They are falling apart, and this is why only 6 people show up. A lot of those who were just taking orders are done taking orders, Michael, because now they don't have to take orders from a bunch of evil American-hating people. So they don't have to show up anymore.
Well, I think it's that. And I also kind of wonder, with these USAID funding all being cut, maybe their rent-a-mobs aren't financed anymore. They can't get everybody to show up like they used to because there's no paycheck attached to it because we've cut off their funding.
Exactly. Okay, let's go watch the other side, the factual part of this video, and then we talk about it.
Is the worst criminal in Congress in the last 250 years. And what's broke that we're going to talk about right now is Adam Schiff met with a whistleblower. Adam Schiff went to the podium day after day after day saying, I know nothing about this. We're not going to discuss it. We're going to protect it. And then Adam Schiff, led the prosecution of the impeachment trial in the Senate of President Donald Trump. Talk about someone who was conflicted out of the game because he was part of the hoax that brought Charmella in, manufactured that false accusation, and then peddled it out to the world. And he continued, not surprising. He's lied about almost everything in his life. But now he lied just to set up a presidential impeachment. And that's what I was talking about, these disinformation campaigns. And then he should be investigated because he lied to the world about his interactions with Charmella, who is a whistleblower, and I can't stress it enough, that started a presidential impeachment. Now, your history is way better than mine, but I can't remember the last time a president was actually impeached. It's a significant...
Facts, receipt, facts, evidence, examples. That is how you run FBI.
Yeah. Well, and it gets even worse. So that Caramello's whistleblower campaign, that was financed and funded with money that was laundered through USAID, through a third-party NGO, and then handed back out to help get Trump out of office. So when Trump started questioning Zelensky regarding why these prosecutors were fired, what happened, what did Biden say to him, where was this pressure put on Ukraine, did he cut off the funding? That was Caramello was, again, directly involved with that. So that was when the bat signal went up, and then he filed this false report that they then used to get a fictitious impeachment. And I can answer Cash's other question, too. The last impeachment was Bill Clinton.
True. Okay. Guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a literally 1 minute ad break because we cannot do a Glazov gang without hearing from Mike Lindell. Huge fan of Mike Lindell. All of us here at Glazov gang. Honestly, all of us also at X America News. So let's go take a 1 minute ad break. When we come back, I promise we're going to get to the comments. Michael, there's a lot of comments coming in. We need to read them and answer them. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sale because right now, every order ships absolutely free.
Welcome back to the Glazov gang. Thank you so much for staying with us until now. I hope you are enjoying all the good news, especially the cool dance of Kash Patel. Before we went to the ad break, I told you we're all huge fans of Mike Lindell and his products. So now he's topping it all by finally releasing his cross. I know I have always looked at it. I know him by the cross. And he's also offering free shipping across my store and mypillow.com. All you got to do is head over to either mypillow.com or mystore.com or both and use promo code GG21. That is Glazov Gang, GG21. You get a special discount. You get free shipping. And yes, this offer comes with the promo code. You just don't get it if you go randomly shopping. That way, you're supporting Mike Lindell and his efforts. Right here, Glazov Gang can also benefit from your support. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to tell you what. I'll let Michael tell you what item you should buy. Michael, what should
buy? Buy the slippers, especially the ones with the shearling on the inside. I really wear those in the wintertime. I got to go throw logs in the fire or whatever else in the middle of the night, or I got to let the dog out at 7 a.m. I always put those things on. They are great. The pillows are awesome. If they ever start to lose their fluff, the trick is throw them in your dryer and they'll be right back to normal. They are awesome.
Yes,
And
on my side.
Code GG21.
Yes, I will say if you're like me and no matter the season, you need a throw blanket around, grab one of their throw blankets. It is amazing.
Yes.
Love them. And of course, their towels. It's crazy how good their towels. You know what? Everything is great there. And neither one of us are saying this because we feel like saying it. We literally have the products. We have tried them.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. We both used to work for Mike over there. And so trust me, we got a lot of free samples. We were to try everything out and nothing was ever a disappointment.
Absolutely agreed. You disappeared for a minute, but I'm glad you're back, Michael. It's all good. Also, I'm going to plug my artist store here because Jamie would do it if he was here. So lutfstudio.com. That is lutfstudio.com. Use promo code Glazov and you will get a special discount. Portion of your purchase will come back to the Glazov gang and the remaining profit will stay with me so I can continue doing what I do. It's all handmade, one of a kind. Even if I wanted to replicate or duplicate them, I couldn't because resin has a mind of its own. So we have diamond paintings, we have acrylic painting, and we have resin pieces that are all food safe, UV resistance, heat resistance, So you can actually keep them for a very long time. I'm not going to say forever, but for a long time. So head over to lutfstudio.com, pick up a piece or 2 or 5 or 20. I don't know. I have 35 inventory right now available. Just make sure to use promo code Glazov Gang so you can receive some discount and Glazov Gang can receive some credit back and continue doing what we do here. I feel old. 13 years is a long time.
It's not that long. It's a blink of an eye.
Yes, but if it's 13 years out of your 23 years in America, it feels pretty good.
Yeah. Over half the time put in towards helping Jamie spread his message, making all these contacts. You've helped a lot of people, over that time. And I think you guys were and think of some of the people you brought to light over there that Jamie, interviewed first, from Ben Shapiro to Candace Owens to many others.
Yes, that is very true. You actually did us a favor. You went back in time and watched some of our early shows. And then you called me. You're like, woo!
Yeah. Do you guys want to see Ben Shapiro when he literally looks like a 12-year-old? Go to Glazov Gang on YouTube. Wind the clock back to some of their earliest episodes. When you see him, you can't miss it. So it'll be easy to find.
Yes, I'm going to look this way for a minute to look at your comments because I promise we will get to the comments. So here we go. Hello, Perry on Facebook. We have the Victorian Conservative on YouTube. And yes, I agree that video was awesome. The Bollywood dance, yes. I can't get enough of it. I think I have played it probably 10 or 12 times since yesterday, his confirmation.
There's been a few really good ones that people have slapped together with music on it. The Bollywood one's great. There's another one with Metallica I've seen a few times. But and some of the memes have just been priceless.
Well, I tell you what, though, my mindset. So you got Kash Patel, and then you have the Bollywood dance, but then you have the Indian Army look into it in Middle East. Like if you look at the history of Middle East, there are maybe 3. I can think of 4 militaries, armies that ever dared go up against the Indian Army in the whole history of when Middle East was, all about conquering. Alexander the Great, Cyrus the Great, Genghis Khan, as you call him, that's it. Other kings and people would not even dare because the Indian army is known, especially with their elephants, right? So the whole concept, the Bollywood and Cash and the actual uniform of the back in the time Indian powerful military army, it's like, it's so fitting. Fitting.
Coming in to slay the beast in DC.
Exactly. Dave on X, news media isn't reporting hashtag San Jose Gate. Michael, do you know anything about San Jose Gate?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Dave, if you could place some sort of link or some sort of detail, we'd be more than happy to talk about it with the time we have left. Hi, Suzanne on Facebook. Tammy Jacobs on Facebook. Everything he is saying is about himself. Exactly, referring to Chef. Projecting. Exactly, because that's what they do. Dances with Patton on YouTube. Annie and Michael. The lunatic pencil neck
Yes.
was selected for his part because he qualifies a big league above the rest of the loony Kazunis. That's a good point. I never thought of it that way, Michael.
Yeah, and I just looked for anything out of San Jose. I'm not seeing what he's talking about.
Yeah, well, I'll keep an eye to see if Dave sends us any update on what it is. God bless you as well, William from Kentucky. Dan Dreyer on Ex America News Rumble. Hi, Dan. Always good to see you. Good evening to you as well. Michael, you ready? Dan has a good one. Kamala signed with the Hollywood talent agents.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I saw Biden did too. I guess he's going to play a corpse on CSI.
No, you're wrong. She's going to play the abused victim drunk on Law and Order SVU.
Yeah. Well, then I guess Biden will be the corpse for that.
Yes, Biden will. Or Biden might be the perp they're going to be looking for.
Oh, that would be even better. Put him in there for, touching little kids.
Exactly. And Kamala has grown up and he had a epiphany and he remembers he found a note that as a child she was molested by Biden. And now she's an alcoholic. We are horrible people.
This would be too good to be true. But, unfortunately, they're just going to, find a way to funnel $20 million to each of them. That's what they're really going to do. And they're going to need it for legal defense probably coming up.
Exactly. Josh is also here. Hi, Josh. And Josh says, Mike, thanks to you and Derek the other day, feeling much better after that scare. I have no idea what his... Okay, perfect.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah, he left a comment from the ER in the morning during one of our shows earlier this week. And sorry, all the days run together. But yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better and I'm glad you're out of the hospital and apparently wasn't anything too serious.
I am glad you're feeling better too, Josh. And see, that's commitment, though, Michael. I have to say this for a moment. Let me stop being so evil. Write a script for a show and come on the side of being a good person. Things that Kamala make me do. Michael, sometimes I feel like I understand some people have millions of followers out there and good for them. But I feel like myself, you, Derek, Jamie, all of us, we're so blessed because we may not have millions of followers or eyes on us, but we have such a loyal audience.
Yes.
Like right here on the Glazov Gang, it's not, you do shows, you do producing, it's not cheap to produce 15 years of programming. And if it wasn't for the loyal audience right here at Glazov Gang, we wouldn't make it. No way we would.
Oh, yeah. And you really have to, appreciate the people, too, that have helped us grow, because otherwise we wouldn't have gotten any of these programs off the ground. It's people, liking, sharing, subscribing, even making comments to boost you up in the algorithm, whether that's on YouTube, Rumble, X, or wherever else. Without their help, even if it's those simple things, we wouldn't be able to make this programming. Because you're right, it is expensive. All the equipment that you need for this, cameras, microphones, computers, it's not cheap. And I get that some of it's a one-time investment, but I don't think a lot of people understand either the ongoing fees that go with like the software that we use to stream, editing software like Adobe. I mean, that alone is $70 a month. And it all starts adding up pretty quickly, Restream and everything else. I mean, you're looking at several $100s to probably, a little over $1,000 just in fees and charges every month.
Oh, and let's not mention for what me and you do, we can't have some dial-up internet. Our internets are 150, 160 a month to just handle, dedicated to these streamings and programming and bringing guests. You try to have a video call with your normal iPhone, you see the quality, and then you compare it to our quality, you see that it has to be a fiber 1 or 2 gig up and down to handle the quality, so people don't get all like, this looks terrible. And as far as one-time investments, Michael, taking it back to Glazov Gang, I think I'm on my 4th broadcasting computer with Glazov Gang after 13 years.
I believe it.
You can't have a laptop to work for you for 13 years with the same quality and, power that you bought it 13 years ago. It's just, especially nowadays, technology has advanced from 13 years ago to today. I can tell you that much.
Oh, yeah. And it's not like an off-the-shelf laptop. You're not going to Walmart to pick one up. You've got to have, something that's made. Gaming laptops are typically what are used in place of what used to be a broadcasting computer now, because they are the same components. But you need a high-end video card. You need a good processor. You need tons of RAM, especially if you're doing any editing or anything like that, putting all these clips together that we play throughout the shows. So, yeah. It's a big investment, and you definitely have to be dedicated to keep doing this, or you're going to get depressed real early on and just bow out.
Exactly. So let's close this chapter by saying, again, on behalf of myself, Jamie Glazov, and all of us here at the Glazov Gang, we are truly grateful for your commitment to keep on helping us to continue doing this program. And here's to another 13 years. And if you're new and if you want to join the team of Glazov Gang, head over to jamieglazov.com. It's right on the lower third, jamieglazov.com. There are many ways over there, not necessarily with your money, but there are other ways also that you can support the show. Sign up to our newsletter, receive the show, send it out to your friends. As Michael said, you help us build our audience. So head over to jamieglazov.com. Help us continue doing what we do over here. And talking about investment, talk about money. Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us, this is where we're going to sit us straight. We're very proud. Our representative, the one and only, Jim Jordan.
Yes.
I think he spoke yesterday. It might have been a day before. I don't know. As you said, days are getting all blurred. But in 1 minute and 4 seconds or so, he sums up what I've been trying to sum up. And again, yeah, my English isn't the best. To sum things up, I have to say it too much. But he sums it up so perfectly, without even naming name. The only name he does mention is President Trump. That's it. So let me pull it up. Let's listen to Jim Jordan. And then I know you have a lot to say about this. So here we go.
Democrats for now, 2 weeks have been saying instead of stopping the stupid spending, they attack the guy who's exposing the stupid spending. I think we should maybe get rid of the stupid spending. Trans comic opera in Ireland, Sesame Street on Iraqi television. I think maybe we should focus on that. No. Can't do that. And I think this just underscores the fundamental difference between the left and those of us in the Republican Party, those of us conservatives. The left thinks the bureaucrats are smarter than we the people. Got to trust the bureaucracy. Got to trust you got to trust the experts in the government. I'd rather trust the people. The 77 million people who elected President Trump, who told us he was systematically going to go through these agencies and identify dumb things where taxpayer money is going to. He told us he was going to do it. The American people understood it. He got elected. Now he's carrying out that mission, and they're attacking the guy who's President Trump has put in charge of this effort.
It's so good.
Yeah, and he's exactly right. I mean, this is kind of what I alluded to earlier. I don't know if their brains are broken or what the problem is. They just have this knee-jerk reaction to go after anything that President Trump or Elon Musk or anybody on the right touches. They don't even think about it first. It's just attack. And now they're out there again trying to defend these extreme wastes of money. It's not like they're even trying to defend individual programs. If they were out there saying, this program that DOGE is going to cut that delivers, I don't know, sex changes for Guatemalans, when we need to save this, lives are at risk. They're not even out there arguing that. Not that we'd believe it, and they can't say that, he's cut legitimate programs for medical care, food distribution, or wells and water, things like that. I mean, they already had one group come in and try to protest, and apparently they didn't know that had been immediately refunded once it was included in the list, I guess accidentally, and the program was back online immediately, less than 24 hours. They never missed any of the distribution. I think it was for water that they were supposed to get. But they're they're uninformed. Their constituents are uninformed, and again, they're defending waste, fraud, and abuse. And that's where I think right now, like, President Trump's approval rating just keeps going up, 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 because when they hear the media try to defend this stuff, they just don't buy it. They see it for what it is, that we are literally just shoving trillions of dollars into a giant blast furnace. We're just burning it up. And when they hear things like, the Treasury Department, which is their other big one, that they couldn't account for $4.7 trillion in money that they'd spent. I mean, to the average person, this sounds insane, especially during tax season right now, where you better, document every little item that you spent money on in the last 12 months, or they're going to make you pay for it. And then they can't even take basic steps to make sure this money is not going to, Nigerian pirate scammers or whoever else.
Exactly. And again, first of all, back to Jim Jordan, the way he sums it up, he doesn't even need to name names. But I want to appreciate one thing most of all, when he says there are them and then there's those of us on the Republican side, well, those of us conservatives. I love that he actually is starting to differentiate the conservatives versus Republican Party. I love that. But Go ahead. The problem I'm seeing here, you say, their brain is broken. It goes back to, for so long, and again, it's not just the last 4 years, people. For so long, we have officially been put last on the list of our government, that it's like a Stockholm syndrome. I can't believe there's anybody out there as a citizen, as a person, as American, who's defending Democrats having a meltdown. Like, anyone with, I don't know, 2 pieces of brain left would be like, oh, look at that. They're actually going to put us first. How can that be a bad thing?
Well, you're exactly right. And I think, we've seen a lot of these videos with even Democrats and people that voted for Kamala Harris, as they're seeing all this and seeing what's happening with the DNC. A lot of them are angry too and are going to change sides. I think that this has been eye-opening for a lot of people. And I think that's what they really fear, is they've completely lost the message. Trump is 100% in control of the narrative right now, and there is nothing they can do about it. It's Trump's world. They're just living in it. And even their friends, their allies, these Democrats pretending to be journalists right now, even they can't come up with a good defense or a way to get the people back into alignment on their side, other than the blue-haired moonbats. Like, they're not going to go anywhere. We already know that percentage of the population is just lost and hopeless, at least until we can find whatever medication they need to be on.
Exactly. Talking about as his world, they're just living in it. This, I believe, happened today. The video unfortunately starts from half sentence. This is President Trump talking about the states that are complying with his executive order, which is a show of its own. The fact that we need a president to come in and use his pen to sign an executive order for man not to compete in women sports is a whole book of its own.
Yes.
But this is a short clip of President Trump interacting with Governor of Maine on how she says she basically is refusing to comply. So take a look at this.
The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it, because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
We are the federal law.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. Well, I'm waiting for this court date too, and I may have an update following another similar story right now. This is just breaking. DOJ says Biden judge assigned a case on Trump's executive order for transgender troops engaged in egregious misconduct. So apparently she's being investigated now by the DOJ. And this is the same moonbat, I think, that ordered Trump to put up all the other nonsense on the federal websites. Mm-hmm. So they're now admitting she overstepped her bounds and reversing her previous decisions. So his executive order, we're ending all the transgenderism, all the surgeries and everything else in the military now. The judge was not successful in blocking President Trump.
There you go. Again, it is so... I don't even consider this a win for the fact that it shouldn't be a battle to win. This shouldn't be a battle in the first place.
Well, you're exactly right. And you know, just like this governor made, like the laws, the Constitution, all this is outlined clearly. These things were pushed through by the Biden regime without the force of law either. So that means they can be flipped back to normal with another executive order, administrative procedures, just like Biden did. And this is how the world worked for, since the beginning of time. So for them to pretend somehow this is, irrational and anti-science, that's my favorite excuse from the other judge that, no, actually, I think it's the same judge that, said that Trump's decision ran against biological science. Well, something does, but it wasn't Trump's executive order keeping men out of women's sports or transvestites out of the military. It's the left's logic on this.
You mean lack of logic?
Yeah, I hope they stay that way. I hope they continue to die on this hill, on the tranny madness and on the DEI and the rest of what they pick some weird hills to die on. And if they don't change things soon, they're done. I mean, forget the midterms. It's going to be a sweep in the House. The Republicans are going to take everything. And then when 2028 gets here, I don't know if it'll be J.D. Vance or who it's going to be, but it'll be another clean Republican victory. And we haven't even discussed, they haven't even got to going after Act Blue now. I mean, the Democrats are going to be broke for the next couple of election cycles anyway.
Exactly. Kelly Song, good evening on chat, ex-America. Yes, it's always good to see Michael. I call him Michael. You said Mike. But yes, I was actually lucky enough that he was available to join me tonight on the Glazov gang. And oh, great. So Josh says there was no heart issues. So that's great news.
Good.
And let me just make sure. I had a question here. Oh, there we go. So Terry Sanchez on Facebook is asking, what are your thoughts about Pam Bundy?
I think she's done a good job so far. I really like that she's digging into these Epstein files and they're on her desk. This is the thing, sorry about that. This is the thing, some people dug into certain things with their past in Florida, but you have to realize, a couple of these cases that she was handed when she was still a county prosecutor, it wasn't up to her. It's up to whoever runs the county and whatever. So pursuing a few of those that people questioned, she did her job. And the same thing she did as their state AG and down in Florida. She's the one that crafted a lot of this legislation for DeSantis, going after Disney, fighting back against all the, again, tranny madness down there and protecting children. So, I think she did a good job there, and I think she's going to do even better here. I didn't know this until more recently, but she had also actually worked with Trump between his two terms in crafting policy and helping to figure out where the DOJ needed to go. I guess it was always intended originally for her to work with Matt Gaetz, but now it's her, and I think she's doing a great job so far.
Fantastic. I will keep my thoughts on Pam Bundy to myself for now. I'll leave that for another time because we're actually out of time. I think she's doing pretty good. I think she can do better. But for a start, it's a good start. I'm expecting her to step up, be a little bit more firm, and poke at few more names that I'm expecting, and I'm sure she will. And again, it's been such a long 4 years of suffering that we're all in a rush to see everything happen. So I'm aware of my rushed judgment, but for a start, she has definitely done a great job. And personally, I take Pam Bundy any day over Matt Gaetz, so it's a victory for me. I know. I can't hear everybody. I know. It's just a personal.
Hey, you know what? Well, you're right though too. But we also have to look at the situation realistically. It hasn't even been 30 days since Trump's been in office, and think about how many tables have been flipped over already, and we're just getting started.
Very true. Okay. We are almost at the end of our time. It's so funny, Michael. I'm like, why are we at the end of our time? The Glass Off Gang is normally a 50 to 55 minute show, but technically we could go longer, but let's not do that. On the chat, Kelly Song asked a question, so let me address that. Kelly, Mike, as you call him, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. with Derek Evan on Insurrection. That's where he's at. And then Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, me and Michael have the He Said, She Said. Tonight, as I said, he was kind enough to join me as I sit in for Dr. Jamie Glazoff. However, the Glazoff Gang itself is a once a week, every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, that for next 6 to 8 weeks. It's going to be a rotation between myself sitting in for Dr. Jamie Glazoff. Michael will be sitting in either next week or week after that. But I love Dan Dreyer's comment and suggestion. Anybody who's watching us on any of the platforms, to subscribe to that very channel you're on, because you get a notification. And normally all of our thumbnails will tell you who's there, who's the host, who's the guest, what's the topic. So you can get a notification. So click the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, on Rumble, on Facebook, on X, I think those are the 8 channels we're running right now. So subscribe. And then if you like the show, send it to 5 friends and ask them to send it to another 5 friends. We tried our best to stay on top of the news today, but oh, Lord have mercy, it's happening too fast. Thank you so much, Michael, as always, for riding shotgun with me. I look forward to our Wednesday. He Said, She Said. You are no stranger to the Glazoff Gang audience, but just go ahead and one more time tell them where they can follow you to read your funny memes.
Well, again, thank you for having me, and thank you to Dr. Jamie Glazoff for allowing me to sit in for him a few times while he's on vacation for the next few weeks. You guys can find me on X at Real Mike Lauber, Lauber, or you can find me 11 a.m. Monday through Friday here on X American News for The Insurrection with Derek Evans. And you can find me on Wednesday evenings with Annie over here for He Said, She Said. Thank you guys again for joining us tonight. Please like, share, and subscribe so we can bring even more people the news the mainstream media doesn't want you to hear.
Everything Michael said, and head over to jamieglazoff.com, jamieglazoff.com, make a contribution, sign up to our free newsletter so you get every show. If you missed it, you get to catch it. Also head over to mystore.com or mypillow.com. If you have any shopping to do, make sure to use promo code GG21. You get discount, we get credit, and that way we also support Mike Lindell. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight. Either myself or Michael Lauber will see you live again next Friday.
This is a fan-generated show. If you'd like to support us, please go to jamieglazoff.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our new Rumble